Roman, I can't hire you until you're clean, mate. It's out of my hands. I've got work to do. You're going to need to stop calling. Okay. Cheers, mate. Goodness sake. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Adam Pacitti, and I'm your What Culture Pro Wrestling General Manager. At Built to Destroy, Rampage was dropped on his head. The pile driver, it's a move that is banned with good reason. You know, Big Damo, I could strip you of the WCPW title, but I don't want to be the guy that stripped the first ever WCPW champion. That's not me, that's not what the fans want. However, you are going to wish that I fired you when Rampage makes his return, whenever that may be. Blampied, you won't go unpunished either. Trust me on that one. Tonight, it's a new beginning for WCPW. Until Rampage gets back, we need a #1 contender. In tonight's main event, Doug Williams will square off against Aaron Stevens, the man formerly known as Damien Sandow. The winner of that match will receive a shot at the WCPW title in 2 weeks' time. You're welcome.
WCPW Loaded is on the air, and this week we are starting with a showcase between 3 of the best wrestlers in the world, including this man, Noam Dar. Dave Bradshaw here alongside former British heavyweight champion Alex Shane. And Alex, this triple threat match we're about to see could be a classic.
Well, Dave Bradshaw, I am hyped, I am psyched, and I am loaded. Not in an alcoholic beverage way, although the night is still young. But, man, what a way to kick off this episode of Loaded, because 3 of the best wrestlers, not just in England, not just in the United Kingdom, but in the entire world, across multiple companies, are right here in our opening match. It's going to be awesome. All kinds of awesome.
Speaking of awesome, Noam Dar, at Built to Destroy, had an absolutely remarkable Ring of Honor World Championship match against Jay Lethal. You see under his left eye, he's still bearing the scars from that. And Alex, Noam came within just so close to winning the Ring of Honor World title.
Well, you know, sometimes you have matches that put a wrestler on the map, and even matches that put a wrestling company on the map. You know, the night the line was crossed with Sabu, Shane Douglas and Terry Funk did it for ECW in many people's opinions. I think the match that put WCPW on the map as a legitimate pro wrestling company was that man right there against Jay Lethal, and this opening contest, Dave, may just be the second.
It will be interesting to see if Noam Dar is still feeling the after effects of that, what must have been an exhausting match. We will find out in just a moment. Certainly Dar has won the respect of the WCPW fans with his performances so far.
Sounds like they're loaded. It is this Newcastle, it's to be expected with territory.
What are you saying about Newcastle? Anyway, El Ligero on his way to the ring now, the second competitor in this triple threat match. Ligero been on something of a roll here in WCPW recently, beating Martin Kirby and forcing Kirby to wear a dress at Built to Destroy.
It was shocking, you know, that was the opening contest at Built to Destroy, and not only did it showcase just how good Martin Kirby and El Ligero are in the professional wrestling ring, but it also showcased Martin Kirby's legs in a dress. What are you looking at me like that for?
Just such a pervert.
I was just giving him a compliment on his stature and figure.
Remarkable you're not in jail. You know that. El Ligero, the Mexican sensation. You know, a singles match between El Ligero and Noam Dar on its own would be a really special occasion, but when you throw in the third element, the guy we're about to see, this one is just so unpredictable. So exciting to watch this is going to be.
Well, you know, Will Ospreay is a man who the entire wrestling world is talking about. That's no exaggeration.
it made waves among WCPW fans when it was announced that the aerial assassin was coming to Newcastle. And here he is. Will Ospreay has spent the past few months making a name for himself across the wrestling world, not least in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where as a member of the Chaos faction, Alex, he has become a global sensation.
I would say now, actually, the most impressive high flyer on the entire planet, Dave. This guy is only just getting started in his wrestling career, and he's already reached the summit that everybody else will be jealous of.
You could think of this match, I guess, as a showdown between Will Ospreay from New Japan Pro Wrestling, Noam Dar almost representing WWE in that he's been competing in the Cruiserweight Classic, and El Ligero, of course, for WCPW, so very international flavour to this triple threat match.
It's Scotland versus England versus Mexico by elites, I'm told.
Allegedly.
It's a conspiracy theory, but I'm into that kind of thing.
Will Ospreay in a WCPW ring.
The Montreal Screwjob was a work.
What are you talking about?
Just conspiracy theories.
I zoned you out there for a minute.
Vince McMahon's actually an android.
You told me he was a lizard.
That's David Icke.
Oh, sorry. I'm excited about this. Will Ospreay, Noam Dar, and El Ligero. And of course, although there's no official stipulations attached to this match in terms of the winner getting a title shot, you've got to think whoever can get a victory over two such high caliber opponents has to be in line to face Big Damo or whoever's going to be the WCPW World Champion somewhere down the line.
Yeah, but it could be Doug Williams or Aaron Stevens, Dave, and that's just the caliber of athlete from around the globe that's coming into WCPW.
That is our main event tonight. Stevens versus Williams to be the new #1 contender for Big Damo's WCPW World title. We'll talk more about that as this episode of Loaded proceeds. But right now, triple threat action. And it's really difficult to tell whose side the crowd is on. They were cheering for Dar, now they're cheering for Ligero. Ospreay a minute ago as well. All three of these men with fans in Newcastle this evening.
Are we going to get a Steve Linsky chant?
I doubt that. He'll be quite upset, won't he? He's a sensitive soul, is Linsky.
Senior referee Steve Linsky here to call the action. And what action he's going to call. I hope he's ready for it. I mean, he's lost an amazing amount of weight. But this is going to blow us up as commentators, let alone counting all those near falls and running around.
Well, he's getting on a bit, isn't he, Linsky? He won't thank me for saying that. Anyway, nice to see a handshake between all three of these men. That's the kind of sportsmanship we want to see. It's not what we've always seen here in WCPW of late, particularly in our main event of Built to Destroy, where Big Damo won that title. Again, plenty more on that coming.
All right, and I'm going to put you on the spot now, Dave. I'm not going to ask you where you bought those clothes from. You're the only man I know who can get ripped off in a charity shop. I'm going to ask you, who are you going to pick as your winner in this one? No pressure.
You know, as much as Will Ospreay is the man who's been making such a big success of himself in Japan, and as much as El Ligero is on a winning streak here in WCPW, I'm going to say Noam Dar, having come so close but lost in that Ring of Honor World Championship match, he may just want it more than the other two men tonight, so I'm going with Dar.
I'm going to go with Ospreay because Ospreay just has everything to lose right now. Well, look at that. You know, the whole world's talking about him and he doesn't want to lose in the opening match right here on Loaded. Well, kick to the leg, chop to the chest, nip up, cartwheel, boxer kick and a standoff, my lord.
God, look at the speed of that little exchange between all three of those men. It's a good point you make, Alex, actually, about Ospreay. Given that everyone is saying that he is the future of pro wrestling, you call him the best high flyer in the world, he's still a very young man. Do you think carrying that burden on his shoulders is something that might eventually make him crack.
Well, before I answer that question, don't act surprised that I made a valid point. Former British heavyweight champion, I hardly ever mention it, but you know, it's there, on record, it's on Wikipedia, must be true.
Never mention it, do you?
But Will Ospreay, I mean, he's got to be feeling the pressure. He's having fun here, but sometimes having that cool, calm exterior is a facade to disguise the stress you're under. This is a young man with the weight of the world on his shoulders, and look at that, sends Ligero to the outside.
Yeah, he's not showing it at the moment, is he? Ospreay very confidently taking the offense or taking the initiative in the opening moments. Dar trying to hold on to those ropes. You don't want Ospreay whipping you into the ropes at speed, because that's where he's most dangerous.
And talk about ringing his bell. Noam Dar cleverly using his foot to block that. But oh, look at that. And you know exactly when he goes for that leg, what he's setting up for us, that champagne super knee bar.
Ligero back in, sends Dar into the corner. Dar sends Ligero to the apron, now attacks Ospreay, and a low drop kick sends Ligero to the outside. Dar gets cut off by Ospreay.
Oh, and he goes straight for the leg again, but that time the fall was far greater. I tell you, I think the match that we saw with Jay Lethal and the experience in the WWE Cruiserweight Classic has just made Noam Dar that much better, which, considering his age, Dave, is freaking freaky. And I did say freaking freaky.
We mentioned it, a Built to Destroy. He's just 23 years of age. It's Noam Dar. He just oozes such a ring presence that you would think that he's got, you know, experience way beyond that.
You're interrupting this amazing Newcastle rendition of the Final Dar Down.
The what?
The Final Dar Down. It's like the Final Countdown, but with Dar as every lyric.
How long did it take you to think of that name?
It was just there on the tip of my tongue.
Musical genius, aren't you?
I speak fluent WCPW fan.
Earlier you were saying you couldn't understand a word these people in Newcastle were saying.
I didn't say that.
You said that off mic.
Off
camera. Oh God, high drop kick from Ospreay. Watch out for Ligero, he's on the apron. Ospreay sees him, but maybe too late. Ligero rolls back in, goes to the ropes, ducks the clothesline from Ospreay a second time, a third time, a fourth time. El Ligero just running from end to end. And takes out Will Ospreay.
Will Ospreay tried to out-lucha the Mexican Sensation, and it ended badly.
Ospreay reeling after El Ligero got the better of him at high speed, and not many people can do that against Ospreay. Here comes Ligero. Ospreay moves out of the way and repeated chops across the chest of the Mexican Sensation.
Shota Kenakabashi here in WCPW. That's that Japanese influence wearing off on the Mexican Sensation's chiseled chest. That sounded somewhat sexual, it wasn't meant to.
Yeah, alliterated though, so it sounded good, well done. Ospreay sent flying. El Ligero really having to kick it up a couple of gears. No offence to Martin Kirby, but that was all fun and games for Ligero in a way that this isn't. This is two of the best in the world he's up against tonight.
And that was the fastest I've ever seen Steve Linsky move. You see him dart across the ring there. Tried to escape the oncoming Ospreay onslaught. Forearms there. Knocks Noam Dar down to the floor. And
speaking of an onslaught, Alex, El Ligero is going to, looks like, launch an aerial onslaught against Noam Dar, but Dar saw it coming.
Ducks a clothesline there, comes back, goes for that C4L, but oh my God!
He got caught! Champagne Super Knee Bar! Champagne Super Knee Bar! This is what almost won Noam Dar the Ring of Honor World title!
God, he went for that C4L DDT, but keep your eye on Will Ospreay. Shooting star press, standing style, onto the, Dave!
Yeah, he hit the knees. He hit the knees of Dar. A double Champagne Super Knee Bar!
My God, Dave! Could you imagine if he could tap out Ligero and Ospreay?
If either man taps, he wins, but they might both tap. Ospreay's in the ropes, but does he have to release Ligero as well? That was unreal.
And listen to this crowd, Dave, and you know what? It's only our opening match.
Much more to come, but this is gonna be difficult to top, isn't it? Small package, catches him, only gets two. Ligero just a second away from a memorable win. Ospreay still down as Dar and Ligero exchange forearms. Dar off the ropes. And El Ligero Get that front face hook applied on Noam Dar. Oh, big kick.
Well, that put the super into that super kick, but Dar comes back, big boot of his own. And these two are trading the heavy artillery, but keep your eye on Will Ospreay. Oh!
Ospreay takes out Dar and Ligero.
My
Remarkable.
word.
Absolutely remarkable.
My word, I tell you, I defy anyone, anywhere in the world to find this kind of action in the opening contest in any other wrestling company. This is WCPW, and we, Dave Bradshaw, are loaded. I mean, not loaded in that way, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm increasingly wondering if you might be actually loaded.
Although I tell you what, when he did that double champagne super knee bar, I thought I was seeing double. I thought maybe I was loaded. I thought the name of the show had rubbed off on me.
Ospreay trying to get the crowd to cheer for him and not Ligero, but this crowd changing their minds by the minute, or rather maybe just respecting all three of these guys.
Oh.
Ligero took a boot to the face. Ospreay off the back of Ligero, the Hurricane Rana on Dar.
How inventive is Will Ospreay when it comes to aerial offense, and he's only just getting started. It's like the guy's just warming up now.
How does he think of this stuff so spontaneously? Just unbelievable.
He's part man, part ninja. Not that they're not men, but like, you know, genetically. He's like an X-Man.
Ospreay in the corner. Clothesline snaps backwards the neck of El Ligero a second time. And he'll go for a third. This time Ligero moves. Again Ospreay with the wherewithal to change his mind at what, less than a split second, and change to an assault on Dar.
My eyes can't just believe what they're seeing. This guy is incredible. And what's he going for now? Springboard and
Ospreay off the top rope onto Ligero. Another running shooting star press, and it was almost enough, but not quite.
you know, watching Will Ospreay is literally, without sounding corny, like watching a human highlight reel. Everything this guy does is so incredible that it just makes you keep blinking. Listen to this crowd. This is wrestling. This isn't wrestling. This is unlike anything wrestling's ever seen.
Ospreay maybe going to go for the Rainmaker. The Rainmaker clothesline, shades of his boss in chaos. Gets he wraps him up. Wraps up Ligero, only got two. That was Kazuchika Okada's finishing move. Obviously learned that from him as Dar makes the save on two. And once again, you see that Japanese influence creeping in to Will Ospreay's repertoire.
Well, that's what makes him such a seasoned professional, you know. And I was there when Paul Heyman, live in London at the York Hall, offered him a contract and said, Evolve want you. Gabe Sapolsky's company, the man that behind Ring of Honor for so long. So just think, you know, he's got Japan, he's got America after him, and now he's here in England in WCPW. But let's not forget Dar. He's currently working for the WWE as part of the Cruiserweight Classic.
Ligero on the assault against Dar, was going for the C4L a second time. Again, Dar counters, this time with a drop kick. Ospreay with the forearm to Dar. Ospreay maybe going for the Oscutter. A reverse Hurricane Rana by El Ligero. Catches him, goes for the cover. Ligero could get one of the biggest wins of his career, but Dar stops it with half a second to go. What a match! What a match!
I mean, we said that this was going to be good. We just expected it was going to be a great match. But this is exceeding those expectations as high as they were, because these guys are giving everything they possibly have, and it's all right here in your opening match on Loaded. And we still got Aaron Stevens with Doug Williams.
And much, much more as well. I wonder if any of these three men has anything left. Referee Linsky up to a count of 6. If none of these men get to their feet by 10, this will be a draw.
I'll take back what I said earlier. I think I need a drink. Oh.
You've already had a couple anyway, haven't you?
That's not true. That's cologne, that smell.
It's a weird cologne. Anyway, Ligero forearm to Noam Dar. These three are just they've thrown so much at each other. I wonder if they can think what else to do.
Cheat. I'm just throwing an option out there.
They're not you.
If at first you don't succeed, cheat.
The Alex Shane Book of Morals. There is Dar with the headbutts and an uppercut to Ligero.
Or you can do that. God.
Ospreay lands one on Ligero. Dar does the same. Ospreay across the back of the head of Dar. Oscutter! Oscutter! Oscutter
Oh,
on
that's got
Dar!
to be all. Dave, he's got him. He's got him. Ospreay. Oh, Ospreay
him.
wins.
Will Ospreay!
I mean, just like that, Will Ospreay, it was, how high in the air was he? He was like, I don't know, 10 feet up in the air, I couldn't even calculate it. But we saw something truly, truly special, and that was just the beginning here, my God.
Completely unreal. If anyone tells you that the hype surrounding Will Ospreay, or Noam Dar, or El Ligero is too much, show them this match. And I defy any wrestling fan on the planet to deny that these are three of the best on planet Earth right now.
Well, Dave, after over 20 years in the wrestling business, it's very rare that you'll hear me say after watching a match, I need to see some of that again, but we need a replay on some of that stuff because it was game-changing levels of incredible. It was all kinds of awesome, I said that earlier.
You did.
Wicked
You
awesome.
did. I'm struggling to find the words. Will Ospreay.
Super awesome.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you're just using the same word repeatedly.
All kinds of awesome.
All right. Agreed. It was awesome. It's Dar, Ospreay, and Ligero with one of the best triple threat matches I've ever seen. And this is the opening contest. Oh, that's nice to see as well. A good show of respect between Dar and Ospreay, and now Ligero as well. Three humble young gentlemen with nothing to be humble about because they, all three of them, have unbelievable levels of talent.
And you know, you asked the question earlier, perhaps it will be Will Ospreay who will be looking to challenge Big Damo. But to get, and that's a match I'd like to see, talk about David v Goliath. But before that can happen, don't forget our main event, Aaron Stevens, the man formerly known as Damien Sandow, takes on a true legend of British wrestling, a star of America, TNA, Ring of Honor, Noah in Japan, Doug Williams. That's all coming up very shortly right here on Loaded. Dave, it's epic. It's epic awesome. That didn't work.
No, it didn't. I'm trying to think who Big Damo would prefer to face, but either Williams or Stevens would be a truly formidable opponent for anyone, including our WCPW World Champion. Anyway, that #1 contenders match is on the way this week on Loaded, but right now, the spotlight belongs to the aerial assassin, Will Ospreay, as Loaded continues.
Were you one of the unlucky few who couldn't get tickets for July's WCPW tapings? Well, make sure you pick up tickets for August as they're already extremely limited. On August 24th, we'll be presenting a special live pay-per-view quality show, WCPW Stacked, featuring Moose versus Joe Coffey, the debut of the Women's Championship, Will Ospreay versus Marty Scurll. The WCPW Championship will be on the line. There'll be Joe Hendry, Joseph Connors, Big Damo, El Ligero, Primate, Grado, Drew Galloway, EC3, and GM'd by Eric Bischoff. Not just that, but on the 25th, we'll also be holding Loaded tapings featuring the Kurt Angle Invitational, a pinfall and submission elimination rumble to decide who gets to face the Olympic hero in October. Grab your tickets for August at wc.pw while you still can. The 2 days are looking absolutely stacked.